morning. Welcome to Saturday Morning Comic Talk, where I talk with top indie creators about whatever the heck I thought up in the middle of the week. And today we have some returning guests, but we have someone who's not been here before, so we always start things with introductions. Todd, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, my name's Todd Rayner. I am the creator behind Dark Space Studios, which is my own indie creator comic company. And basically, it's just about me telling fun stories. They're kind of, deals around three main characters, Ice Pick, Annabelle, and Luke. And it's just their story. Some of it's superhero stuff. Some of it's more like darker themes and I don't want to say adult themes, but they're more like, things that are not always kid friendly. We'll say that.
I can
nothing.
relate.
Yeah, nothing adult content, right? It's more just like a little bit of blood, gore, fun stuff. It's a lot of supernatural characters, so I throw in dragons, vampires, angels, and demons, and all that fun stuff. So if you like that kind of stuff, that's what Dark Space Studios produces. And I've been doing that for a few years now and having a lot of fun.
Excellent. All right. So, Grant, welcome back, and tell everyone a little bit about yourself.
Sorry, I was trying to plug in my computer so that I don't.
Oh, no worries.
So that I don't get kicked out during the show. I'm Grant Lankard. I have a Kickstarter right now called Beowulf Grendel's Curse. This is for issue number 2, but you can also get issue number 1. Guys, please check it out. I have been so close to funding for like 3-4 days now. But yeah, in this, so essentially it's Beowulf reincarnated in modern times, but it cuts between medieval times and modern times a lot. In this issue, he goes up against his greatest foe, which is, of course, Grendel.
Yeah, good stuff. I love the Beowulf series. I think I have the first. This is a second series, correct, of Beowulf?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I have the first one. I think I have the floppies and maybe even the trade. So, yeah, it's good stuff. People, let's get there. I mean, gosh, it is crazy because hearing you talk, it's just giving me flashbacks to where I was. And it was just like hovering on the edge of funding. And literally, it was 24 hours before the campaign closed. So it's never like you just got to breathe and relax. I mean, I guess the good thing is if you get funded and you're within that last 48-hour window, someone can't cancel and unfund you. Mm-hmm. But man, I mean, I've never had one wait until the last 24 hours. Just nothing but pure stress. So I guess we're all there. You'll be there soon enough, Todd.
This one isn't quite that stressful. I still have 5 days to go. But if I was running a promotion where if we got funded by the end of this evening, I will throw in a set of trading cards to all physical backers.
Nice.
Now, of course, once it gets funded, nobody wants to just fund. I mean, the way I set up my Kickstarters is so that the goal is like the bare minimum that I need to break even.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously nobody wants to break even.
No. Yeah, that is true. And that's kind of what my goal was. And once it reached a certain point, I'm like, come on, I just break me even. Because, you don't want to be under, because for mine, I was working on an issue 12. I was working on a trade, and trades are so expensive to print. And then Comics Wellspring, the printer I had been using for years, just announced out of the blue, like, hey, we're done. So I have to scramble to even find a new printer for my softcover trade. My hardcover, I use Mixum. I'll still use them. They did a great job on my volume 1, but it's still like the things you need. You have enough stress when you're just trying to run a campaign and you're living in the bubble of your campaign. You don't know who else has campaigns, what else is going on. And then you hear, oh yeah, we're going out of business. So it's like, okay, well, there's a new piece of stress because I need to find one. Not only, I mean, finding a printer is not the hard part, but finding one that will deliver the quality that would match what you did on your first volume is the tricky one.
Yeah.
So if you know printers out there, drop them in the chat because I'm looking for one for sure.
I do think I don't know if I'll be able to post my link. I know that YouTube sometimes censors that. It's saying this comment has failed to post.
There's a chat in the Streamlabs that you can post it in. It's not in YouTube that you have to do that.
Just if you can even send that in the private message to me, and that will be good, because I'm just scrambling right now for where I'm going to print the floppies and the new trade. So yeah, like I said, if you know of a place in the chat, drop that link, because it's it's a new problem to have, just not knowing where you're going to get your books done.
Mm-hmm.
All right, perfect.
Yeah, so just one. Like I said, I hope everybody goes and checks out Beowulf, Grendel's Curse #2.
Yes.
Like I said, I feel like it's suffering a little bit from a sophomore slump. Not in terms of quality, but in terms of, people getting excited about it.
Yeah,
but,
that's always tricky on #2s.
Yeah, and from what I've heard, I think most people are saying, with the economy being bad, maybe the time of year, it's everybody's down a little bit,
Yeah. But you're close. You'll get there. Where you're sitting right on the brink. I need to get my pledge in there. I know I will. And same with Mike's. I need to get those in. So, Mike, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hi, I'm Mike Grace. I'm the writer of Zip. It's a comic about imperfect superhumans, but there's an outside chance it's secretly about disability. So it follows our main character, Zip. There you go. Oh no, I've got this thing back. It follows our main character, Zip, who is a speedster whose powers come with a bunch of complications. So she has super speed, but with the super speed comes super fast reaction time. The technical term is mental chronometry. So the whole world is moving in slow motion to her, because she just reacts to everything so fast. And this is going on all the time, because you just don't turn off your reaction times. So every conversation she's ever had with a person, that person sounds like they're talking like this. And conversely, she has to speed herself up, slow herself down rather, because otherwise she'll just sound like a chattering chipmunk to anyone she's talking to, and they won't understand a word she's saying. If she stubs her toe or whatever, she loses control, and she'll end up going, spitting out obscenities in supersonic speed. She's also got an accelerated heart rate, because everything about her is faster. Her biorhythms are all faster. So she sleeps twice as often, but for half as long. And that ends up, she ends up nodding off. If she's got a day job, she can kind of end up nodding off from being so tired, because an 8-hour shift to her feels like 16 hours. So, it's kind of difficult for her to hold down a job. And like I said, the accelerated heart rate that she has means that she's got a shortened lifespan as well. So her life expectancy is only around 40 years, because that's kind of how like the candle that burns twice as bright burns for half as long, sort of thing. And all the superhumans in this world have these kind of complications, because the human body is a delicately balanced thing, and if you put one thing out of balance, the rest of it can kind of be affected. And a superpower isn't an insignificant thing to happen to a human body. So it's all an allegory for disability. And in this world, the reason that these people put on these brightly colored costumes and take on these eccentric names and do what they do is for them to feel as if they have a sense of purpose in life, because they don't really fit into mainstream society. So they're carving out a place for themselves on the fringes by going out and being, good Samaritans and, living out the action-packed life of heroes. It's also all set in my home city of Bristol, the city where every day is Talk Like a Pirate Day. Bristol Balloon Fiesta just kicked off yesterday, which you none of you probably know what that is, but basically every year in the summer, Bristol has a balloon fiesta where hundreds of hot air balloons take to the sky. And my partner, who didn't grow up in Bristol like I did, the first time she saw those balloons in the sky, she didn't know what was going on. She just looked up and saw a bunch of hot air balloons. And it never occurred to me that this wasn't a perfectly normal thing to happen every summer. Because every year since I became a kid, I've just been totally accustomed to hundreds and hundreds of hot air balloons in the sky anywhere you look. So I'm definitely going to put Bristol Balloon Fiesta in a future issue of Zip. Because,
nice. So she's thinking the balloon apocalypse is about to happen. Oh shit, they're invading via hot air balloons.
No, it was, it looked like an alien invasion when she saw it.
Yeah, if you didn't know, that would freak me out. So.
I always remember, because it didn't ever occur to me that hundreds of hot air balloons being in the sky was weird, but she made me realize, oh no, that is quite a strange thing to just have in the sky every year.
Pops is saying it happens in Albuquerque as well, so in New Mexico, and I haven't seen that either. I mean, I guess if you knew it was coming, if you can anticipate it, but if not, it would just be an odd thing to wake up to.
Yeah.
But that's, still fun. You don't worry about balloons taking over. If it's, flyover jets, you might worry a little more. All right, so we're going to hit our first topic of the day, and we're talking about who's the best superhero actor. So we want an actor who really personifies the character that they're playing. So what do you think, Todd? Who's the actor who really personifies their superhero?
That's a lot to choose from. It's a huge list, especially the last 10, 15 years. I'm, a little bit older guy, so I kind of go back to, the 80s and 90s when superheroes were just kind of getting their footing in. I really love Michael Keaton as Batman. I know, he's kind of maybe the obvious choice, but I like the detective side of Batman. So I did like when Ben Affleck did some of the more detective stuff, but as far as like physique goes, Michael Keaton's probably not the best, right?
No.
But I think for Bruce Wayne, I think he really worked as, kind of the billionaire playboy kind of character. Yeah.
Yeah, I was talking with my wife about that before this, because of course I need to pick 4, because if everyone picks my choice beforehand, I was like, Michael Keaton, I think, is the best Bruce Wayne that we've seen. Like you said, physique wise, I think now they would have probably put him on the roid routine that they put all the superheroes, and he would have been like stupidly jacked.
Yeah,
but it was a different standard back then, though, right?
Yeah, back then it was like the suit can make him jacked, and it's more about his fighting skills.
If you look at Adam West, the physique he had when he made the 60s show.
Yeah. So I think, so what is the question? Dylan, the question is, who is the best personification of a superhero? What actor became their superhero? So Todd just he picked Michael Keaton, who was one of my 3 picks. So I was like, I might go down to my final one, but that's okay. But I think it would have been different. His physique would have definitely been different if he were cast in a 2000s superhero movie. But I think he definitely, that detective side, he really worked that well. And Tom Holland, good pick on that one. I think if we're picking who's the best Spider-Man, I'm going him, even though I'm a Tobey guy, because that was my Spider-Man.
Totally Tobey.
But I think Tobey kind of missed the quippy jokes as much. But then again, he did what was in the script. I think if he were given more quippy jokes and his Spider-Man were more sarcastic, he could have pulled it off. It's just, work with the material that you're given. Yeah. So what do you think, Grant? What's your pick on this one?
So like you said, I picked a couple different ones because I figured. So my number 1 pick is I think a really, really obvious one. It's the greatest superhero performance of all time is, of course, Christopher Reeves as Superman. Look at how many people have played Superman and are just doing an impression of Christopher
it's
Reeves.
cosplay.
That should tell you how great that performance is.
Yeah.
I know that there's a documentary out about Christopher Reeves now. I can't watch the trailer without crying.
Yeah.
But I think that performance in the year it's kind of one of those things where it's like you think like, oh, how hard can playing Superman be? You just be a nice guy, and like so many people since then have tried to do that and failed, not just with Superman, but with other superheroes. But it really gives you a lot of respect for Christopher Reeves.
Yeah.
You mind if I give my other answers as well?
Well, just wait after Mike, and then you can give them. Yeah, once everyone's given theirs, you can spill them all. But we'll make sure that Mike still has his pick, and then I'd love to hear what else you have. So, Mike, what do you have for this one?
It depends on whether you're just talking live action or if you're including voice actors as well, really. But I kind of assumed that you were talking live action. So
Either way would have been fine.
Well, I'm quite partial to Josh Radin's Spider-Man in The Spectacular Spider-Man. That's a show that I've really been influenced by in Zip. But the live, if it was, we're talking live action, I really have to mention it's another Josh. Josh Pays from the 1990 Ninja Turtles movie, because they were acting in these like animatronic suits where their mouths were being moved by animatronics, and they'd have to use body language and everything.
Yeah.
And you really have to mention the stunt actors as well. So Raphael, I'm talking specifically Raphael here because you can probably tell Raphael's my favorite turtle. But also Josh Pays was the only actor in a suit who also did the voice of the character. So he was unique among that, because the rest of them, they had an actor in the suit and a different voice actor for voicing the turtle. Josh Pays, he acted in the suit and did the voice. The stunt actor for Raphael was Ken Scott. And like when you see them doing all of the martial arts that they did in these big bulky suits with animatronics and stuff, it's really impressive. So I'm gonna have to go with Josh Pays / Ken Scott from the 1990 Ninja Turtles movie.
I like that. And then my picks pretty much got gobbled up, but I mean, I think you look at Patrick Stewart as Professor X. I think he's one of those solid ones, and I mean they've recast. There was another Professor X when they did the reboot of the X-Men, but when I think of Professor X, I think of Patrick Stewart. I think the age is a factor on that one as well. But I mean, you look, who are they bringing back into the MCU, and who did they already bring back, kind of a soft bring back in the Doctor Strange movie? It's Patrick Stewart, because he is Professor X. So I'll go with that. And then if we were doing voice actors, Kevin Conroy. I mean, he's the one that personified Bruce Wayne and Batman perfectly, but it was with a voice. But he's, when he was doing Bruce Wayne, everything was different about the tone, the inflection. And then when he turned into Batman, he flipped it into a different direction. And he'll be hard to top, because there's going to be multiple, animated Batmans cast after him. And you're always going to be living in his shoes. So not an easy feat. So Grant, who else did you have?
So I also mentioned Patrick Stewart.
Okay.
And then for my award for most underrated performance was David Dasmilchin, who played the Polka Dot Man in Suicide Squad.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, he's been, because he was also, like, I'm trying to think. I know he's been other movies I've seen. So, that's an interesting pick. I never think, like, Suicide Squad, I never think about that. But when you talk about that, oh gosh, now I'm losing her name, but Harley Quinn. Yeah. She's an amazing.
Talking Margot Robbie?
That's the one, Margot Robbie, I think, is a great Harley Quinn. And I liked the Birds of Prey movie. I thought was solid, but it just didn't get any love. I mean, like most DC movies, they kind of live in the shadow of Marvel. But I thought she's a strong Harley Quinn, and Jared Leto's Joker aside, she had to play alongside him. It'd be great to see her with a good Joker, but yeah, DC, they're always in a tailspin. I don't know how they have the greatest IP and they just can never figure it out. I mean, they have their moments, like, all right, the Nolan Batman trilogy, they were riding high, and then immediately went into the Snyderverse, and you thought with the Superman, like, oh, this is going to be great, and then it spun out of control as well as soon as we got to the Justice League. So I don't know. Let's go, DC. Figure it out. Even though I didn't hate Supergirl, I liked the new Superman, but they're not pulling the numbers. Like, Spider-Man's going to pull $1 billion easily, and Supergirl's another one that's going to just flounder and get thrown onto streaming, and another failed attempt. Good morning. And then, yes, Mumbles Malone. I actually like that Dick Tracy movie. I thought that was fun, but that could be nostalgia glasses speaking, because that's one I watched when I was a kid, and I enjoyed it as a kid, because that's around the same time as the Batman '89 movie, and I thought stylistically it was a really cool looking movie, but it could be one of those ones that I go to watch it again and realize this thing is awful. So I don't know. It's really hard to say.
It's still a fun movie. For me, it holds up.
Okay.
I watch it every now and then, and I love the feel and the look. And to me, like, that is a comic movie, right? It's not, it's kind of in your face with it, and that's what I appreciate about it.
Yeah, I think because it just looks so cool. It really captures a comic book's feel. And when I was a kid, I was just like marveling at the visuals of it. Because we had Batman, we had the Spirit, we had some really cool.
Oh yeah, Sin City.
Yeah, Sin City. We had those lesser known comics that really looked amazing. Like Batman, that's not a lesser known comic, but Tim Burton really nailed the look. But when you had Sin City, when you had the Spirit, when you had, Dick Tracy, these are the lesser known heroes, and they were beautiful. I loved it.
Yeah.
All right, so let's go into our next topic. And I realize I don't have our scroll going, so let me start that. All right, so the next one we want to talk about is, we all have comic series out. We're going to cast a main character in our series. So who would you like to see? First off, Todd, what book from yours, and then what character are you going to cast? So
I've had to think really hard about this one, because the first off, the book I would cast is Ice Pick, which is the first book I did, which created the character in early mid 90s when I was in high school, like kind of right after the Image boom. So it's my love letter to 90s superhero action, revenge, Batman, Punisher kind of stuff. So I kind of think, like, who would personify that character the best? And I kind of actually lean a little bit towards early Toby Keith or not Toby Keith. I'm sorry.
Toby Maguire.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry. Not the country singer.
You're bringing him in.
No, that's thinking outside the box. I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not a musical. But yeah, I liked him, when he kind of got buff in Spider-Man, the first one. And the character, Mike Ice Pick, is kind of in shape. He's late 20s, early mid 20s character man. So I felt like Toby can play like the serious side, the kind of and over the 3 movies, he showed a lot of range of like emotions. He was kind of angry and like a hothead, but then he was cool and collected and loving and caring.
Yeah.
So I kind of felt like that could work for Ice Pick.
Yes. Just no emo Maguire with the dance.
But if he does the dance, I'd be okay with that, because that meme is timeless.
Yeah. Oh, that's the best. My kids had never seen the Spider-Man trilogy, and we watched the first 2, and they loved them. I'm like, all right, it's gonna get strange in this one. And they, as soon as the scene started, like, oh, it's the meme. So they already knew it. So they were very excited, because they were well familiar with the meme, as I think at that point it was like a a 14 and 18-year-old. So
Yeah.
like, yes, we love this scene. So yes, it's so funny. It's become something for the kids now. Good morning, John. Good morning. Thanks, Janice. It was a battle, but we got there. So thank goodness. And Grant's going to get there next. That's our one. So Grant, who are you casting and what book are you casting it for?
So my decision was not difficult. I've said this like many times. If I could cast anybody as Mooney, for those of you who don't know, Mooney is the magic cat who's kind of Beowulf's sidekick from the Beowulf comic books. If I could cast anybody to do his voice, it would be Ian McKellen. When I'm writing Mooney, I picture Ian McKellen's voice. Yeah. When I do an impression of Mooney, like just around the house, I'm basically doing an impression of Ian McKellen.
Okay.
Yeah, so to me that's who the character is. That's to me why people like Mooney. He's this big, majestic, like larger than life personality in the body of a tiny little cat.
Okay. Yeah, and Ian McKellen's another one we could have put in. His Magneto was another great superhero performance that kind of stands the test of time. All right, so I like that one. And now when I read the Beowulf comics, I'm going to hear his voice in my head. So now it's become the voice that I'm going to hear just like yours. All right, so what about you, Mike? Who are you going to cast in yours?
Well, you're not asking me a hypothetical question there because I actually have cast actors for Zip. Yeah, well, I mean, in this age of passive video watching, social media content, we kind of made some videos to go along with our Kickstarters because I thought like putting, Kickstarter wants videos and social media wants videos, and so just putting text in a video, it's not really conducive for those people who are just kind of having videos on in the background. So I actually had the comic voiced at one point. Zip was portrayed by Brittany Galash, and another one of our characters named Mr. Untouchable was voiced by Michael Magnet. But if you're talking again about live action, I looked into it because I was just thinking, anybody who portrayed Zip on the screen would have to be British, and they would also most likely have to be neurodivergent. So I found out that Amy Lou Wood from the Netflix series Sex Education is where you most likely to have heard of her. She has ADHD. And she's obviously a British actress because she's been in this show. I looked into it, and she has the look. She has ADHD, and I wrote Zip thinking about I kind of imagined somebody having super speed, it being a similar experience to having energy all the time, and I thought about it in terms of, okay, well, I have to imagine that I have ADHD to write this character, and so I wrote it on that basis. After our first issue, I was actually diagnosed with ADHD myself. So, Amy Lou Wood. And then two of the characters from our comic were actually, I kind of suggested to my artist that I had some actors in my head that I was picturing when I was writing the script, and he actually kind of modeled them after these actors. And those characters are Pinstripe and Dog's Body. And their counterparts are Michael Smiley and Timothy Spall.
Cool. See, so you've thought deep in this one. I always, it's funny because I've been asked this question on other shows, and I always kind of struggle with some of the actors. And I think, do we go with just pure unknowns? Because sometimes that's the best thing. When you put a big name to it, it doesn't work. But I asked the question, so I need to be able to answer. So I would say, for Immortal Era, for my main character, Ari, I do like Zoe Kravitz's performance as Catwoman. And I think she could personify that character pretty well and, kind of give that attitude that Ari would need. But honestly, I would love to see it with some unknown up and coming actors that nobody's heard of, but Zoe Kravitz could kind of be your anchor to have a name, because anytime you're doing a comic book adaptation, whether it be an indie comic or a big comic, you want some name recognition that you can plaster the name on the poster, and then if everyone else on the team is an unknown, I'm perfect with that. It's like, all right, Zoe Kravitz is our name for the trailer, and then the rest are and introducing, and it's like, let's see some new fresh faces to bring this world to life. Hopefully a problem all of us really have one day, where we're like, all right, we want us, when we sign the contract to watch our stuff get adapted, like, let's make sure that we have a little say in the casting. I don't see my say would be what we're talking about next. So
film studios famously love writers coming on and telling them what they should do.
They're gonna tell me to go fuck myself, but that's all right. I'll still make the suggestion. I want this and that. I'm like, they're like, shut up, indie comic writer, you're lucky you're getting a movie. Well, like, just give me executive producer credit. But then again, I think of the nightmare, like, you could end up getting something like League of Extraordinary Gentlemen for your work, and you're just, the villains, that's, man, see, I gotta think, because my main villain is Tristessa, and I don't know, like, who would cast her, because again, I'm kind of going into the unknown. So any of you guys have one? That's, the comments have brought that one up. So anyone have a villain from their story that they want to see cast?
I mean, I've already kind of mentioned Pinstripe and Dog's Body, who I wouldn't really call villains. They're henchmen in a sense, but they're not really bad guys. They're just kind of normal guys who are caught up in something much larger than themselves.
Yeah.
But I do have an actor who he was in a lot of 80s action movies, and I found out today that he's still active apparently, which is very strange because he's like 88 now. His name's Ronnie Cox. He was the bad guy in RoboCop and Total Recall. And I kind of had him in mind for a character that hasn't even been revealed in Zip yet, but nice. He is a great 80s action movie villain, so I kind of would love to see that.
Nice. So, what about you, Grant? Any villains you want to cast? I mean, we're fully put on the spot, so if you don't have one, I understand.
I don't know who would play Grendel, because that would probably be CGI or animatronic or something. But
you got to have a voice there, surely.
Yeah.
What was the name of the guy who did the voice of Worf on Star Trek: The Next Generation?
I know that. Hang on, I know this guy. Well, I've heard of him.
So.
You guys know the voice.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that one's good. I like that. So you have any, Todd?
That's a tough one. Because each I do 4-issue series, so I'm on my third one, and each one introduces a new villain, right?
Okay.
So there's a lot of villains in the stories that I write. Mm-hmm. So I would go back to probably like the first villain that I kind of brought in, which was Freak, which is like a play on like the crazy demon possessed clown.
Okay.
And I'm kind of leaning off the top of my head. I thought Jason Momoa might play, because he's like this big dude that's like a little crazy, and seeing him as Lobo, it was kind of like, he might be able to pull that off.
Yeah, I think that he's a good villain. I mean, he's a much better Lobo than he was in Aquaman. Yeah, but I don't know what they were casting with what they were thinking with the casting. Was it that name star? But then again, Justice League was loaded up with names already. Yeah. So I don't know. Scratch my head on that one. But I'm thinking for mine, if I'm looking at Tristessa, maybe like Charlize Theron, because I think she's older. That she's supposed to be an older villain. Charlize Theron. I mean, if she were younger, I'd throw her as Ari. I think she could be great. After seeing her in Fury Road, I would think could be great for that. But I think she could play just a despicable villain pretty well. So yeah. To answer your question, thank you for dropping this one. Getting us where we weren't prepared. I like that. And yeah, I think I would go with that. Charlize Theron as Tristessa, as kind of the big bad for the entire series. There's a lot of smaller villains that pop up throughout, and honestly, I can't think of one right now. But I should have taken notes. When I was at a con one day, my friend was just hanging at the table, and he's looking at the book and telling me, because he goes to a million movies and Hollywood premieres. That's what he does. And he's like, oh, for this character, you definitely want to cast this one. And for this one, you want to cast that. So he cast my entire book just based on the covers of them. And he's read it as well. So he's like, yeah, I know exactly who to cast. I'm like, all right, if I get signed, I'll be like, this dude's the casting director. But yeah, as we know, if any of us have the fortunate, thing of getting our book signed, they're going to kick us the hell out of the room right away. It's like, we have ideas. Like, your ideas are here. Get away. Yeah. And then we just hope that it doesn't get destroyed like League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, where Alan Moore is basically signed off of Hollywood, although he's known as a genuinely grumpy guy. But yeah, they really did fuck that one up. I mean, it was such a great book and such an awful movie, and you just don't know what they were even thinking with that movie, because they didn't even follow. I mean, a lot of times they don't follow the book, but they really didn't. They just made it mindless action. So we can hope we don't get Alan Moore, or alternately, if we do get Alan Moore, that we have a pile of money that we can look at and be like, you know what, that sucked, but this pile of money, I'm all right with it.
Yeah.
If I'm paying off my house with what came in, I'm not going to cry that much. I'll just disown the movie like him.
I think in today's world, like especially film and indie films, like give us $5 million and we can make a pretty kick-ass indie film, you know, with any of our characters, low budget, that looks good, medium to high production, and it could do pretty well in the box office, I feel.
Yeah, I mean, look at the horror renaissance that's going on right now.
Oh, yeah.
None of those movies are made with giant budgets. I mean, you have one. I think that The Obsession, wasn't that under $1 million?
Yeah.
And it just, it raked in money at the box office. It's kind of going back to like Blair Witch back in its day. But you're taking these things. It's like, if you have an idea, you can make it with less money. We don't need none of us are going to get $100 million movie. I mean, they're going to be afraid to make the $100 million movies, even for the known superheroes, because it's just, they haven't been succeeding. But yeah, like you said, like a $5 million modest budget movie, you could make it look good. And you pull in one of these YouTube phenoms, and they're making amazing movies. So
yeah,
I feel like you guys are kind of floating stretch goal ideas around right now. Yeah, if you just give us $5 million, we'll make a movie out of it.
Yeah, if we reach 5 million on this campaign, we'll make the Immortalarum, short film at least. So,
I mean, I could probably do it for $1 million. You give me $8 million, I know a director guy that does short films and stuff out here locally. I'm like, hey, come be the writer, director of the film.
I'm an hour from Hollywood. I can find somebody. I'll go find some waiter who's an aspiring filmmaker. He's like, I got you, man. You give me $1 million, we're gonna make this shit happen.
Right.
Yeah. Being that close to Hollywood, I can get all our stuff cast right now. Of course, we got to find a way to pay these guys, but that's our stretch goal. That's a problem for when our campaign hits that 500,000 mark. Like, all right, we're casting our first actor.
Yeah.
So there we go. Todd, Grant, and Mike, you're the ones that are up right now. So there you go. Backers, get in there, get us to $1 million. We will make you a movie. Todd's already got him. He's already got it cast. So Todd's up 2 steps ahead of all of us. Now we have some of it cast. We have a hero and a villain cast in our movie, so we're ready. And now our next topic. We're just sticking with our books. We talked about the best personification. We talked about who we want to be in ours, and now we're going to score our movie. So, which person are we bringing in to score the movie? So, Todd, who's coming in to score your movie when you get it made?
So I was thinking of when you said this, I kind of like almost do voice actors or live action, right? And I was thinking, do I do a soundtrack? Because for me, like The Crow, that is probably top tier soundtrack. A lot of people
agree
with
that. The needle drops
that.
in that are perfect.
Yeah, or am I thinking about like someone who scores films,
Yeah.
like Hans Zimmer or someone. Hans Zimmer would probably be the person to score the film if I wanted a score. But I think I'd want to do an actual soundtrack and have like bands on the soundtrack, which I always loved where, especially the Crow, there's songs on that soundtrack that aren't on any albums.
Yeah.
So you get like this unique song that's only on the soundtrack.
Oh yeah.
So I would do for probably for Ice Pick. It's a little bit darker, a little bit kind of a love story in a way. And I would probably do like 90s bands here. So it'd be like Hum. Is anyone familiar with that? They did a song called Stars. It's one of my favorite bands.
Oh, dude, Hum is amazing. I love those guys.
They're really good. And then I'd also pick a power metal band for those that love power metal. It's another 90s band. It's called Heavenly. Mm-hmm. And they're just a phenomenal band. I know Hum recently released an album, but like Heavenly, I don't think they've done anything in years. So those would be like bands that I would want on the soundtrack. Obviously I'd go with like even Smashing Pumpkins, Type O Negative, but some of the bands I grew up with and say, hey, here's the idea of the story, write me a song,
Yeah, I would love that. And Hum's new album is damn good.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've listened to it.
Oh yeah.
Holy crap, it is good. They just played like 2 months ago. I saw them and I saw them the first time they came back, and I saw them this time, and those guys still just freaking shred. They never got the love they deserve, but the first time I saw them come back, they were playing a smaller club, and this time they were playing a much bigger room, and it was sold out for 2 nights. So I'm like, all right, good. I'm glad. It took a while, but they're finally getting that love, and well-deserved love. So kind of an underrated gem of a band right there. So I love that idea of needle drops and score. That's what I have. I when we get to mine, but I will shut my mouth until you guys can hear me talk. So Grant, who are you gonna get to make your soundtrack?
So those of you who saw the He-Man, or I guess the Masters of the Universe movie, the recent one, it's probably not too many of you because it's not doing well. But one of the cool things that I thought about that movie was they got Brian May to play on the score.
Yeah.
And there's just something so epic, so I don't know what it is about this guitar playing. There's just something. It makes you feel like you can grab a sword and go out and take over the world or something.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I'm gonna say I would like for Brian May to write a song for either the theme song for Beowulf or maybe a song on the soundtrack.
Yeah, I love that
Of
one.
course,
That's a good pick.
He also did the classic, maybe my favorite soundtrack of all time, which is Highlander.
Oh yeah.
Yes, that's right.
Phenomenal.
Another just majestic. I feel like I'm using the word majestic too much, but you know what I mean. Just it's epic.
Consummate, please. I said consummate.
No,
epic and everything you want from a Highlander soundtrack.
Oh yeah, it's one of those ones that's perfect. Where you think some movies the soundtrack kind of misses the mark. That one does not. The Crow doesn't. I mean, it fills that world out with those songs that are playing in the background. Where it's if it had just been score, and it has a good score as well in The Crow. It's not like it doesn't have a good score, but those needle drops just they build those scenes when he's running on the rooftops when you got Dead Souls playing, and it's just,
so good.
and 9 Inch Nails recorded it just for that soundtrack.
Yeah,
that like the Cure records a song just for that soundtrack because they were both fans of the comic book. So like the fact that they got asked, they were honored, and they brought something so good. And even like you go see 9 Inch Nails play now, when they drop it in Dead Souls into the set, I'm pumped.
Oh yeah.
It is one of those, like, we've done best covers as one of our topics, and that one's right up there on that list. Good morning, Kevin. All right, so what about you, Mike? Who's going to score your soundtrack?
Well, that again, it's not a hypothetical question. The person who has scored my soundtrack is Simon Broadbent. Because, like I was saying, we've made actual voice videos for the internet and Kickstarter, social media, and everything. And we have an official score for Zip, which I put in our our social media videos, our Kickstarter videos. Actually, the Kickstarter video that is on our campaign right now features the soundtrack from the official soundtrack from Simon Broadbent. So
nice.
It's not hypothetical, but if we're talking like a Hollywood composer, I mean, I didn't even think we're including popular music in this. I just thought we were talking composers. But if we're talking a composer, I thought everyone else was going to say this, but they haven't. So I'm lucky. John Williams is amazing.
You cannot go wrong with John Williams.
No.
He's just done so many classic soundtracks. I mean, I'm getting married in October, and our theme is movies, and so we're looking for songs for our harpist to play. And I'm thinking about asking our harpist to play like Marion's theme from Indiana Jones on the harp.
Nice.
That kind of thing. I was also talking to my partner about this, and she brought up Trent Reznor because she loves the Crow as well. And I'm all in favor of Trent Reznor because when I was a kid, and still today, I'm massively into Quake. He did the soundtrack for that.
Soundtrack to that.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're releasing it on vinyl again, so I got to pick that up because the first time they released it, it sold out in milliseconds. So
the Crow soundtrack.
Yeah, the Quake one.
Oh, the Quake one. Oh, wow. They're doing a new episode of Quake for the 35th anniversary, I think it is.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why they're releasing it back on vinyl.
I think it is, yeah.
I'm on the Nine Inch Nails email list, and it's like, limited ones, and I know his limited stuff sells out so damn fast. So
wow.
I snatch it up as quick as I can because he's definitely one who loves to build things for the collector. So he'll make special colored vinyls and things like that. The Crow one finally came on print in vinyl again, so I grabbed that one because I had the score version, but not the one with all the songs. So I was glad to get that. So yeah, for mine, I think I'm going kind of where Todd went. I'm going to have some needle drops because there's musical references thrown throughout Immortal Era. The prison area that they go to is called the Flat Fields from the Bauhaus song. So I got to drop that one in it. My main character's name is Tristessa, which comes from a Smashing Pumpkins song.
Oh yeah, good song.
So that song would have to get needle dropped. And then the song Paris in Flames by the band Thursday, I've actually used lyrics from that song. I talked to the singer and he let me use lyrics on the back of one of my books. So that one has to get dropped in the soundtrack. So those would have to be my needle drops because I specifically named things or referenced them directly in the book. And then as far as the score, I love Clint Mansell and the Kronos Quartet, the stuff that he does. I don't know if you've heard the Fountain soundtrack, but he does that alongside Mogwai, and I'm like, that's what I want. In fact, the agent that I'm working with, they're working on creating a motion comic for Immortal Era 1, and they asked me like, what are your thoughts for the music? And I'm like, go to the Fountain soundtrack. That's my ideas for the music. Or I said that, or I said, I sent him the Lift Your Skinny Fist album by Godspeed You Black Emperor. I said, these two things are what I imagine the background soundtrack of my comic sounding like. So I directly named those ones when he asked me. So yeah, those are what I imagine the soundtrack of my movie. And now we got another chat. The chat is keeping us on our toes today. And I love it. So what's our end credit song for the comic film? What is that layout song like as soon as the credits hit, that one big song? So Todd, do you have one?
Yeah, that's a good one. Off the top of my head, just thinking of like the story, even like all three stories in the world that I've kind of built, there's always like this positive message, kind of like as crazy as the world can be, it's always going to be better. Like the next day will be better. So I might have to go. I mentioned them earlier. Heavenly, they have a song, "The World Will Be Better," I do believe is what it's called. I think it's on their third album, maybe second or third. And it was the first album that I heard by them, and that it literally just talks about how like the world's going to get better, right? No matter how the struggles are today, like, don't worry, it'll be better. So I think that would be a pretty cool, and it's like super high energy. It's power metal, you know, it's like you get what you get with power metal, but it's a pretty cool song.
All right. What about you, Grant? I know we're on the spot, so if you can't think of one, it's all good.
Yeah, I'm racking my brain. I think again, probably something by Queen.
Yeah, you can't go wrong with Queen. The Queen needle drop always works.
Yeah.
I think I like Baby Driver. That, oh my gosh, that needle drop's just perfect. Baby Driver's another movie with amazing needle drops. Even though it's got Kevin Spacey and he didn't age well in anything he's been in, that's a solid needle drop movie. All right, so Mike, you probably already have this written. So what's your end credit scene?
I don't have it written, there's no score, but I guess, you know, I mean, if we were going to do, then I suppose because usually at the end credits, at the end of you get the score, don't you? But then the popular song, the songs from popular culture. Well, I actually have a playlist that I've made for writing Zip. So I have songs that I imagine. And so there's like a few different contenders, really. So one idea I had would be Supersonic by Bad Religion, because of the super speed aspect. Another one would be My Favorite Game by the Cardigans. Let's anybody remember that?
Oh yeah, I love that one.
Kind of got a sort of like a racing.
It's got a good energy to it.
Yeah.
Let's see. I mean, I'm just looking through my playlist now to see if there's anything I've forgotten. No, I think those would be the main ones that I would have. Either the Cardigans or Bad Religion.
Okay, yeah, either one. Those both have a good energy. So when you're talking about something with super speed, you cannot go wrong. So for me, I think I'm going with one I've already named, and that's going to be Paris in Flames, because when I was writing, it was specifically issue 2. That song was kind of what I was envisioning that whole scene as, where you just have a city burning, the world is breaking apart, and I think Paris in Flames for my final needle drop. That's what I'm going for, by the band Thursday. They're like a post-hardcore band, and if you know them, and I love that song. And like I said, so much so I went to him, Jeff Rickley, the singer of the band, when he was playing a little solo show and was actually manning his own merch booth and everything, and asked him, and he was so gracious, like, yeah, absolutely, and sent me like all the stuff I needed to get from the lawyers to get full permission to do it. And, asked nothing in return. Just like, yeah, that sounds awesome. I can't wait to see it. So, the next time I saw him doing a little solo show, I just handed him a stack of comic books and got him to sign the back of mine where his lyrics are. So that's got to be my end credit song, because it personifies my world, and it also just has such good memories attached to it. So, Grant, did you think of any? Oh no, you gave Queen. That's right.
Yeah, it's something by Queen.
That's right.
I don't know which Queen song. Maybe
a good Queen needle drop. You got to dig through the catalog.
Maybe The Show Must Go On. That's a good one, right?
All right, I like that. All right, so thank you for keeping us on our toes today. I like this. You're, and I'm gonna steal some of these for next topics, because I mean, we're over 100 shows of this particular show, the Saturday Morning Comic Talk. So coming up with new topics is always a battle for me. So these shall be stolen, and I'll give my people actual proper time to think about it, not on the spot. But I must say that we came up with them on the spot really well. So
you're gonna encourage me to like feed you a bunch of ones that are gonna be like super easy for me to answer now.
Oh yeah. All right. No, we appreciate it. You are not putting us on the spot twice. It's fun. I like to have to think on my toes, because all of these we have time to prep, although I sent them to them last night, so there wasn't exactly a heavy amount of prep time. Normally I send the topics around Wednesday, but yeah, this time I sent them last night, so we didn't have a huge amount of time to prep, but everyone came in with their A game, so I appreciate that. And now we're gonna dig into some good stuff. We have 3 campaigns going on. Mine's in late pledges. I'll just share the link to mine. You've heard about it plenty over the last month, so you know it. If you want to back it, or you maybe already have, we're gonna hit that. But let me pull up our first one. And this is where Mike has sent me multiple things I can do to make this less squinty, but I still end up making this the squinty portion of the show, especially because this morning, I'll be honest, I was racing to get things going. It's been a crazy couple of weeks, but we're here and I'm enjoying this distraction. So it is good. So we're going to start with our live campaigns, Zip and Beowulf, and then we'll hit Luke, and then we'll just quickly talk Immortal Era. So let's talk about Zip.
Yeah, okay. So, I mean, I realized earlier I forgot to mention that we have funded. So I have to give a big thank you to everyone who's backed Zip so far. You're all making it happen. But yeah, as I've said, Zip is a comic about imperfect superhumans, and it's secretly about disability. Up there you see Sans cover with Zip fighting a big zombie horde. It's a little surprise as to how that happens, but so as I was saying, the whole comic is using up there you'll see a endorsement from Gail Simone, by the way. So if you're wondering if it's any good, you'll see that Gail Simone says yes, it is. She's lovely art in this, she says. So this issue that we're funding at the moment is basically Zip has kind of been coming out of isolation a bit and kind of making new friends and kind of getting out of her shell. She's going on a date, and she's debating whether or not she should reveal her secret identity to this man that she's going on a date with. They're going to this fun fair, is what we would call it in the UK, or Americans would probably call it a carnival. So they're going on a date there. But unbeknownst to them, a cryptid has found its way into this carnival, and this cryptid's natural defense is to release, like hallucinogenic gas or possibly infrasound into the airwaves and cause nightmarish hallucinations in the people around it. So it's kind of cooped up in this carnival. All of the lights and music comes on, it starts freaking out and projecting these hallucinations into people's minds. All of the carnival goers start running around in panic and fear, and they're doing this while all the rides are still running with no one left to manage them. So they're running into the paths of roller coasters and swinging arms and getting themselves into real danger. And so now Zip has to not only grapple with her own nightmares, but try and hold it together enough to keep people from just being splattered into goo. So she's going to have to face her own fears, like the culmination of kind of this whole arc. Zip has really been learning to accept herself and kind of be a lot less insular and meet new people and be confident in herself. And that whole journey is going to be challenged by her facing her deepest fears. But in this campaign, obviously, it's Zip 1 to 5, so you'll be able to get the series from issue 1 all the way. We'll get every issue we've done. Also, this is the finale of our volume 1. So you will be able to get single issues, and you'll be able to get a collected trade paperback from our publisher, Marcosia. So also, you may have guessed from my accent, the book is coming out of the UK. Good spot to land on, because there is an international deal for backers outside of Europe. So, it can be pretty pricey to back a Kickstarter when that Kickstarter is abroad. So for anyone outside of the European Union, you will receive a free poster with your pledge in recognition of the large postage costs. So if you're backing for print rewards, you're going to be getting a free poster if you're outside Europe.
Excellent. I got my free poster the last time.
Yeah, well, I mean, if you've already gotten a free poster, if your pledge already includes a poster, you'll get a second poster.
Awesome.
So you'll be able to plaster your whole house in posters.
Nice. Tell my wife we're redecorating in zip posters.
Yeah, so our physical rewards include single issues, of course, our trade paperback collection. It includes, like I said, the poster. It includes a 7-piece sticker set, and it includes headphone wire. It includes this T-shirt as well with artwork by Francesco Tomaselli. These come in sizes.
Pull that back up. I'll pull the campaign off so they can see it bigger.
Oh yeah. So this comes in sizes from small all the way up to XXL.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right. So Rogo says cryptids and nightmares. He's sold in Grant. Grant's got cryptid books too. So yeah, you're both dabbling in the amazing world of cryptids. Always a lot of fun.
Yeah.
All right. So let's get back to it. This has our different covers.
So obviously funded. If you pledge to Zip, you'll definitely get your rewards because we've made our goal.
Always nice to get that pressure off early.
Yeah. All of my spreadsheets and, maths equations about average pledges and projections and things have paid off.
Right.
Oh yeah, you're reaching the bit where I talk about our influences. So there's the whole idea of Zip came from a Cracked article from years ago about 7 awesome superpowers ruined by science. Basically, it was kind of one of those things where they kind of nitpick a TV show for comedy or nitpick films for a comedy effect. But I kind of saw a story in it that could have kind of a deeper message to it. So I took what they were saying and made it into an allegory for disability.
All right, and then you have a crossover print. So is that 2 campaigns running right now?
A friend of mine, I forgot what his pen name is, and I don't want to out his real name. But a friend of mine does a series called Drunk Mom. They're in late pledges at the moment. So basically, if you pledge to both his campaign and Zip, you will get this crossover print that he drew. There's late pledges for his campaigns, and there's a link to his campaign on this Kickstarter page as well. So if you want that crossover print, pledge to both campaigns, and you'll get it.
Excellent. Cool. All right. So I put the link in the chat. I'll also do a post on my Facebook after this with all the links as well, so that people can find those and back those. And if you're watching the show after the fact, you'll be able to find those links and support some great indie comics. So
watch the video on our Kickstarter page if you want to hear Simon Broadbent's score as well.
Yes. We would play it, but we don't want to get bumped for copyright because loves to do that. They love to knock you out, even if you get permission to use it. So
wait a minute, but I'm the copyright holder.
Yeah, they don't know, but I'm not. So YouTube's their algorithm is run by AI, so it's just like, oh, that's copyright, even though I've had things that
I thought you had to be reported. I didn't realize it was.
Oh no.
Oh, that's weird.
It's just constantly surveying it through AI, and I've seen too many of these kind of shows booted off the air because they were trying to show someone's video. So it's sad because you may own the copyright. Like I've had it flagged for my Immortal Era theme, which I paid for to get written and created for my book, and it flags it as not my copyright. So yeah.
Is there no way that you can,
You can appeal it, but it still bumps your show off the air. And
but is there no way that you can preemptively tell YouTube that I've got this license for?
Not really, unless you're a band or something. I think bands are able to do it somehow, so they don't get flagged for posting their own material. But in general, especially with a live stream, there's no way to say like, oh, this will be playing music from various sources. That's why it's tricky, because I do a music show every Wednesday, and it would be amazing if we could play small clips of the music we're talking about, and we can't because they would immediately just yank the show off the air. And there's been, I think, 4 times now when we've had the bands on coming and talking about their own music, and we can't play it even with the band sitting on the stage with us.
I know that YouTube's copyright, policies are bad, but it's even worse than I thought it was.
Yeah, it's awful. So yeah, it's all just, if you try to contact YouTube, you're gonna send a message to some sort of an AI bot that's gonna send you an auto message in reply. And I've been flagged for copyright infringement with songs that I got that were public domain songs, that were freeware songs. So you just don't know, and you won't know until they send you your strike. And if you get a strike in the middle of the show and it's something that they feel you shouldn't be using, they just pull it straight down. So that's why go enjoy Mike's video on your own, because we don't need to end this show right now, because it's insane. It is a really weird thing, and you're never dealing with humans, kind of like with
to be fair, we have just massively mystified my Kickstarter video, so now everyone's going to go and watch it. So.
See? All of a sudden it's playing something way up, like, ooh, I want to hear this forbidden music. Yeah, I don't know. All right, so let's pull up Grant's. All right, and we have Beowulf with our Sir Ian McKellen cat. Is the cat in this one?
Yes.
Awesome. All right.
Nice.
Of course, the cat is the real star.
Do you have plushies of the cat?
Oh,
That's what everyone's going to want to know.
Yeah, I mean, that for right now, making a plushie of Mooney.
I'm kidding. It's expensive to do that kind of thing.
But people go crazy for that. I know I did my campaign with So I did my campaign with Lori Calcaterra. We did a shared, like, if you bought ours, you get an exclusive. And she made plushies of one of her zombie dogs. And I think she was charging like $60 per one.
Yeah.
I'm not surprised.
They sold out in 5 minutes. So people go crazy for plushies. You need a plushie, then you need like a little button you can press and it talks in his voice.
Now you're getting complex.
So many.
Yeah.
Because the thing about doing a plushie with a voice box is, you have to plan for some way to change the batteries. Because if you don't do that, then
it's gonna eventually die. But I think of the Build-A-Bears, because my kids got Build-A-Bears when they were little, and they all had the little voice things inside. And eventually, yes, they're gonna die. Build-A-Bear says, bring it in, they'll unsew it and put it back in. But by the time it was an issue, their Build-A-Bears, they were done playing with them. But yeah, I think it would need to be something like that. But it's going to be finite, and then eventually it's going to talk all slow and crazy and sound like it's possessed.
Yeah.
All right, so we've gone on a tangent, but that's how we roll here. So Grant, tell us about Beowulf Grendel's Curse 1 and 2.
Yeah, so like I said, this is the sequel to the popular miniseries Beowulf. In this one, he finally goes up against Grendel, who is his most well-known villain. And like I said, it's cutting back and forth between Middle Ages and Beowulf reincarnated in modern times as Victor. The most important thing, as we were talking about, Victor's sidekick is Mooney, who is a wizard reincarnated as a cat.
Yes.
So he's, like I said, he's the fan favorite. He's
and there he is on the cover. We see him.
It reminds me a little bit of Hocus Pocus, Zachary.
Oh, really?
Yeah, have you seen the movie Hocus Pocus?
Maybe at some point. I don't. Which one is that with Bette Midler?
Yeah.
Yes. Well, there's a kid in that who gets, transformed into an immortal cat. So it kind of reminded me of Hocus Pocus.
Yeah, I haven't seen that for so many years.
Yeah, I haven't seen the second one yet, but first one's fun.
So is the when you say that Beowulf is reincarnated in modern times. Is that like a literal reincarnation?
Yeah.
All right, and then this is is it a prequel or is it a sequel to the first Beowulf?
So, like I said, it kind of jumps around in time. This takes when he's fighting Grendel in Middle Ages, it takes place before he fought the dragon in the first miniseries, but the scenes in modern day take place after he fights the dragon in modern times.
Okay. Then we have him.
And is he still using medieval weaponry in modern times, or does the weaponry update with?
He's not using a machine gun.
That could be an interesting take, but yeah, Beowulf fighting Grendel with a machine gun. I think it wouldn't go very well, and he'd end up going back to a sword anyway.
Right.
I just wonder because it kind of sounds a bit like a fish out of water thing, where he has to adjust to the new ways or something.
Right.
All right. So these are your covers.
I love that that cover with the glowing red. It was on your thumbnail for your video, wasn't it?
Yes. Which one's your favorite?
I'll go back up to that.
The cover that's on the video thumbnail.
Okay, that's from that. I think that's from the cover down there. And then is this one of the covers right here?
Yeah, we have 3 different covers. We have the standard one, and then we have the 2 deluxe versions. And the deluxe versions are more than just variant covers. You also get a bunch of supplemental materials, such as pinups and process images.
Mm-hmm.
So it's worth the extra $2 or $3.
I like that idea. I think I will use that in the future because I just do the price based on the limited print, where I only do 25 of my variant covers, but to throw in a little bit of extra bonus material for the price they're paying. Good stuff. I will be stealing that idea. All right, and then we have your characters.
Oh, with the 2 different eye colors for your cat.
Yeah, so Mooney is based on my real life cat, who did have 2 different colored eyes. Since I started working on this comic book, unfortunately, Mooney did pass away. But before that, he did have the 2 different colored eyes.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry to hear about your cat passing away.
Yeah, he was an awesome cat. But I mean, he was over 20 years old. So
okay, so he did get a nice long life.
Am I right in thinking that when cats have different colored eyes, that's like some indication of something with their vision? I can't remember.
Well, they're usually white. It's usually all white cats, which Mooney was. And I don't know if he had anything with his vision or anything, but
we got the link right there that you can go to, and then let me see, I'm on the wrong tab. All right, so some of the main characters from the story. And then how many issues is this story arc going to be?
So this is going to be 3.
3, okay. So this is 2 out of 3.
Right. We have it's over 30 pages, which is why it's more expensive than my other comic books.
Makes sense.
But it's going to be a total of 3 issues.
Okay. You can get the Cryptids. That's a fun series. You can go on my YouTube and hear my review of the League of Cryptids #1. I had a good time with that. All right. And I put the link into the chat for that one. So go ahead and back that one.
Thanks, guys.
He's inches away. Let's get him over that finish line. Please. I lived in that stressful world. Let's get him out of it now. Mike's living in a better place, but you still, I mean, what you put for your funding goal is the bare minimum it's going to take to just get the book printed and shipped and out into the world. So over is always better because it helps pay for the art for the next issue and things like that. Because I'm sure, like me, anything you make goes directly into the book and production of future issues.
Well, there's also a lot of rewards that you're only really going to get on Kickstarter unless you just happen to be local and can come see me at a convention. So, you know, I mean, there are once Marcosia starts selling our trade paperback, you'll be able to get that through them. But there's a lot of other zip-related things, like the single issues in print, at least. Marcosia does our single issues in digital format, but in single format, in single print format, you can only really get those through our Kickstarters, or you can be, you know, local enough to come see me at a convention. So
same for mine. Like I have the metal cards and things like that.
I'm guessing that's the same for everyone.
Cons,
at least here.
I don't put them even as a reward you can get in future ones as an add-on, because you want to have that exclusivity to the campaign. Especially when they're ones like the one that we did this time. Lori and I did a metal card with one of our covers on the front, one of hers on the back. And yeah, it's just for the backers. And then I think I print like 5 above that I put on my table. Because when you're working a con, I mean, that's a whole topic for a different day. Right now, it's about standing out from the crowd, because cons are harder than ever, because people just... It goes the same thing as the Kickstarter. People don't have as much, you know, extra income to put toward, you know, something like indie comic books or whatever it may be. So you have to really have more to make people want to see what you have at your table. So
at the same time, I really can't remember the last time anybody went, "Oh, look, everybody's got loads of money right now." So I guess
I can. During COVID, when people were getting those supplemental checks. And of course, we're paying twofold for those supplemental checks right about now. But when people were getting that, and it's like, oh, we got a new stimulus check, and we just got our tax return, and there was this beautiful March where we were trapped in our houses, but everyone had tons of money, and that still remains my hugest Kickstarter I've ever done. So yeah, but I will take this more feeble economy and being able to walk outside over that any day.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was that one time where it's like people have money and nothing to do. So you like, all right, we just got this stimulus check. If you had unemployment, you were getting bonus money, and you can't go out and do anything. Like, hey, we're gonna go out to Target today. That was our excursion into the world. So the beaches were closed, everything was closed. So they're like, hey, why not buy this book? What the hell else am I going to spend money on? Yeah. So that was that one weird moment where you got the trade-off. Like the world sucked, but people had lots of money to burn. All right. So
I'm not going to lie to you, I kind of miss it.
Yeah, so do I. I just went out and skateboard. You know, I need money to skateboard.
I'm very content sitting in my bed reading a book. I don't need to see the world.
I'm a concert fanatic, so I was out of my mind watching those stupid live stream concerts. I'm like, this is bullshit. Yeah. This is a concert.
Oh, dude, I went to a concert in a castle a few months ago. It was also we got to talk about the next Kickstarter, but that was an awesome concert.
Yeah, I go to like one a week, so I'm such a music fanatic. But having live music taken away from me was just like the worst. I mean, the only thing that I could really do, I could write, that was great. I could read, that was great. And I'm a runner, and there were no restrictions on running. You were supposed to wear a mask when you ran, so I always had one around my chin, and if I got near a human, I'd pull it up. But I was doing like 50 plus miles a week, because what else did I have to do? All right, I'm going to go out and do another 10-mile run. Because
I love the way you said that. If I got near a human, I put my mask on. Like, made you sound like you're a conehead.
Yes. All right, so let's talk about Luke.
Yeah, that is, this is issue 4, so it is a 4-issue story arc. And it really is my kind of love to old school 70s black and white horror. Nice. It's my reimagining of like the whole fairies and vampires type of stuff. We're in pre-launch, hoping to get some more followers here before we launch next Friday. But yeah, it revolves around the main character, Luke, who is part of, the trilogy of characters that I've created over these issues. And there's the book prior to this one, Annabelle, where he learns that he is a descendant of a ancient witch coven. So he's like, well, I want to find out more about what the powers I have. Like this, he thought it was like superpowers, but it's actually magic. So he goes to like the place that he thinks magic is, which is Salem, right, where it all started. And Luke is kind of like I don't know, he's one of the comedic characters in the story of the three characters. He's the one that kind of cracks the jokes and is always trying to hook up with the chicks. So
comic relief.
Yeah, he's that guy, and so that's why it makes sense that he would be like, "Oh, Salem, the witch trials. Let's go there to find out about my lineage." And he unknowingly kind of gets involved in this ancient battle between fairies and vampires. And in this story here, the fairies are the ones on the higher up on the food chain, and the vampires are kind of the scum of the magical creatures. And he ends up kind of meeting a fairy at a bar, and she immediately recognizes that he's a magical person as well. So she knows that the vampires will want to kidnap him and feed on him. So she kind of becomes this protector of Luke. And in the story, you find out like the history of the magical characters, where they came from, how they were created, why the vampires are so vicious. Like in the vampire lore, vampires have always been a very vicious type of character. And, I just kind of give my own spin on how they became that way. They were not originally that way. No magical creatures are really like evil or, that type of vicious, blood hungry type of character. And I explain why the vampires are that way. So it's really just 4 issues of Luke trying to figure out what's going on, what's this war about, and vampires trying to kidnap him. He calls in reinforcements in issue 3. So Ice Pick and Annabelle show up to try to help out. And this is the finale where, it starts out with the streets are blood-filled with vampires ravaging the streets of Salem. So it just gets right into the action for issue 4.
Yeah, that's great. And this is the final of this one. Are you doing it in trade, or are you just doing the floppies for it?
Right now it's the floppies. I'll have a catch-up digital rewards and catch-up physical rewards. I have 3 different covers. So Christian Navarro is doing the interior art, and it's all black and white, and that's kind of like a sample of his art. So for me, it was really important to have an artist that can carry a black and white story.
Yes.
Not all art kind of warrants to being black and white. His is fantastic. He did a variant cover for that. Courtney Rose did another variant cover with Dave Kemp, and then Nick Capone did a variant cover with Dave Kemp as well.
Okay.
So I'll have those covers. I also do Virgin covers. My cover will have a Virgin cover. So there's 8 covers total, I think. Nice. The regulars and then the Virgin variants. Mm-hmm. And I do like an all covers tier. I do the variant tier. And yeah, we're launching next week, and awesome. I will do a trade to answer the question.
Okay.
I'm looking because this is what I like to call a loose trilogy, and it's 4-issue stories. All the other 2 stories I've written are also 4 issues. Okay. And each story focuses on one of my main characters. So Ice Pick, as I mentioned before, that story focuses on his origin and, what happened to him. Annabelle is Ice Pick's fiance. I wrote a story about her and her story that has the dragon in it, and that's a strong female character lead, and I have both those trades available for this campaign. But for the next trade campaign for Luke, it'll have all 3 of them, and I may do like a Carpe Diem book omnibus that has all the stories in it.
Yeah, that'd be amazing.
They're all separate, but they all all the characters show up in each other's books, and they're all friends and help each other out and fight all the crazy supernatural stuff going on.
And are you going to have those other series available in this campaign as well?
Oh yeah. I have right now. It's going to be it's a limited thing with the Ice Pick definitive edition trade, and then I have the Annabelle Traversing Deeper trade. Those have a lot of extra material in them. They're like 160, 180 pages. Nice. So it's like the 4 issues, but then it's all like behind the scenes artwork, layouts. There's a cover gallery for like the Kickstarter stuff that I did. Yeah. But then, once I sell out of those kind of expanded editions. I'm just gonna have it be the trade of just the 4 issues without all the extra stuff. So if you want to get all that extra stuff, like this will be the, you know, there's limited editions available.
Okay, great. Sounds good. Looking
I
forward
like
to
that
this long-
you've, you know, the fairies in your book have some claws to them, because, you know, like a lot of like modern ideas about fairies is that they're kind of just sort of, you know, fanciful, and but they're not really much of a threat. But, you know, in the old fairy stories, they can be quite dangerous. So
Yeah, it's well, they're kind of the protectors in this world that I've built, and Rose is the first fairy that Luke meets, and they are vicious. Like they literally just, with their magic, they rip vampires apart. Like it's crazy, but it's fun. I think it's a nice twist.
it sounds like you're kind of drawing on some older inspirations for your folklore.
Yeah.
Are your vampires like the more modern, like Bela Lugosi style vampires, or are they more the old school, like medieval style vampires as well? Because, you know, the way you're describing your fairies makes me think you're pulling on older inspirations.
When you mentioned like with the whole Beowulf, like kind of using machine guns and kind of having that, like learning something new and adapting, the vampires are, because they've lived for, you know, thousands of years. The main vampire, she's more majestic in a way, and because she's over 2,000 years old, she's, you know, just they can control each other in a way where she can control the vampires below her, the ones that she has created. And the other vampires, kind of like the minions, are more just ravage type of vampires. So they're not like Bela Lugosi, right? Where they're not like all proper and dressed suave, right? They're more just like they go out and hunt and feed on humans, and they're a food source. So they don't look at humans. They don't try to interact with them. They don't try to fit in. They just, the minions just go out and feed. Whereas like the older vampires, because they've lived so long, it's almost like the whole Tom Cruise interview with a vampire. Like he just kind of adapted and became to fit in. Like he just, they start to fit in so that they can live longer and not be hunted. But yeah, a little bit of both.
Cool. Yeah, it sounds
you
great.
put a lot of work into the whole like the whole backstory and mythology and stuff.
Yes.
Yeah, I love, like when I talk to other creators or I'm on podcasts, I always say that you know, and this is just how I write, is I start with a villain. I always find villains a little bit more interesting to write a good villain versus like a hero.
Yeah.
And I just read like the lore. Like when I did the dragon for the Annabelle book, you know, I did a ton of research on dragons and who were like in the lore, what were the first dragons? What were they called? What did they do? How did the lore, how did people like talk about them? And same thing with this, like fairies and vampires. You just start reading some of this stuff and you're like, oh, I can pull from this part of the lore and that part of the lore, and make something fresh and different, you know.
Yeah, I love that. I love the thought that goes into it, because everyone writes in a different way. So it's hearing how you pull it off sounds great. And yeah, this looks good. I'm gonna want to check out the older stuff too. So I will definitely be on that when it drops. Just send me a reminder, because my brain's in a million places right now. So
it drops Friday. So I may do a live stream Friday. I have to kind of figure out what I'm doing. But
like a launch show,
I might do a launch show. So
just be careful not to play your own video, because then you might get copyright.
So I just clicked notify me on launch.
Thanks.
Just for anybody else who's out there, just so you know, that doesn't cost you a damn thing. And it helps Todd. So
it moves him up in the algorithm, and you know, makes him get a better chance for the projects we love and things like that. And as Grant said, it is free. You don't have an obligation to back if you follow the campaign. We hope that what you've heard compels you to back, but at this point he is happy to get you to click on that link, because that's free. It's obligation free. And if you then, when the full campaign is there, if you see it and go, you know what, this is for me, then by all means. back that, show some love. And if it's not, you know what you can also do for free? Hit that share button. Yeah. Let your friend list know. Maybe you're not a vampire person. Maybe you're not a horror reader, but you might have a friend who is. And hitting that share button is also 100% free. And it lets other people in your world know that this book exists. And maybe it's up their alley and you'll get some people who back. Because I mean, I will say this, the amount of shares that my campaign had when it was live was just, it made me feel so good, because some of those people backed, huge amounts didn't, but they all hit that share button. And then so many times I'd see on the one that they shared, someone from their friend list saying, sounds awesome, just backed. And that's all it takes. The more eyes that see it, the more we battle through this difficult, social media algorithm, the more chance we have of getting these books funded, getting these books overfunded, so that we can continue to create in the future. Because I mean, I'm a stubborn person. I'll keep creating whether I want to or not. Like, it's like, you know what, this book will be completed, this series will be completed, but it's a heck of a lot easier when you have money to say, okay, I've already got the next 6 pages of the new issue ready to, covered, thanks to this campaign. So
a couple things different I'm doing with this campaign, and I did it with the last Luke campaign, is I'm offering like a free, obviously no obligation. It's a free, you can just click the link and download the first, I think 4 or 5 pages of issue 4.
Nice.
And it'll be the final pages, right? So you get a 5-page preview of what issue 4 is going to be about.
Yes.
And, so I feel like that's a nice incentive. And, I'll have a video that shows all the pages and all that fun stuff. So yeah, it's just trying to, give something a little bit extra for the backers and folks out there that may like that kind of stuff.
Awesome. Yeah, that's great. So check out all of these campaigns, and I will, like I said, they're in the chat. I will also put them in my Facebook. And we have finished up our show, so we're going to close things out where you tell people where they can find you in the social media world. So Todd, where can we find you out there?
Pretty much almost anywhere, X, Twitter, whatever that is now, Facebook, Instagram. I have a TikTok page. It's either, my name, Todd Rayner, or Dark Space Studio. It's pretty much everywhere.
Awesome. So check it out. Mike, where can we find you?
Not counting the funny pages, everywhere I'm pretty much Zip Comic UK, like at Zip Comic UK. So it's Facebook, Twitter, Blue Sky, TikTok, Instagram, Fred's. Oh yeah, Fred's. I always forget Fred's exists. That's not a good advertisement. Our website is zipcomic.co.uk, and other than that, the Kickstarter. For people in the UK, I'm going to be at, if anybody in the chat is from the UK, I'm going to be at Comics Assemble in Gloucester next weekend on Saturday. So there is that.
Awesome. So head to the show, see him in person. And then what about you, Grant? Where can we find you in the social media world?
So I have a pretty distinct name, Grant Lankard. If you search Facebook, Instagram, Blue Sky, Reds, everything except for Twitter, because I hate Twitter.
I hate all of them, but I just do it anyway.
I'm growing to hate Threads and Blue Sky too. Just I don't know. It's weird. People that I know on Facebook who act normal on Facebook act crazy on Blue Sky. I don't get it.
Oh, they lose their minds there. I have a Blue Sky. I have yet to post anything there.
Wait, people act normal on Facebook? This is news to me.
Normal-er, I guess. But, So anyways, I'm on all of the social medias except for Twitter. And most importantly, comicsburg.com. That's my publisher website. You can go on there. You can learn more about me, and you can sign up for my newsletter there.
Awesome.
And you'll get a free comic if you sign up for my newsletter.
Perfect. So for me, you can find me on Finish Line Comics. You can go, and Immortal Era is still in its late pledges. We'll have them open for about 2 more weeks. Once I have to place the order, we're closing down the late pledges. So I forgot to share it. I'll just share it super quick. And that is available right now in late pledges. We actually managed to overfund, which was crazy because it needed $1,400 in 2 days, and it managed to get that and more. So nice. I am blown away and thankful. And I'm just gonna, like I said, I'm not even gonna talk about it. I'm just gonna copy the link. You've heard about it because it's one. I mean, I even talked about it on my music show, so it's been on everything. So you know all about it. And let me put the link there for people who would like to grab it in a late pledge while it's still there. It's my world. It's immortal. Everyone's has immortality, and it's the curse of immortality. So it's the quest to save humanity by killing them. And until then, we'll see you. I'll see you. I don't know. It'll be a little bit. I'm gonna be off for a couple weeks. So until then, have a great rest of your weekend. And thank you to my guests for coming on today. And enjoy the rest of your Saturday.
Thanks.
If you missed the live viewing of any Meg production, you can find all our content on Roku or as a member of this channel. Madness Entertainment Group.